Alright, hey guys, Bulwark here with another video for y'all just for doing a build. This one's pretty cool. Basically, you can end up doing pinna shields for an entire base. So what you can do is, build yourself out a little pattern, find somewhere that, once you put this out, you don't want people to be able to sneak underneath. I think this should keep people from getting in on this one. But as you can see all the way along the edges here, there's no chance anyone can get into here. So these are basically just your walls, and on top of that, I've been hearing a lot about how the health on these is 3,500 per square. So per 1x1 grid, there's supposed to be that much health. So on an example of like this one, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 2, so that's 14 total squares. And let's see, what's the math on that? 14 times 3,500, almost 50,000 health. So essentially for them to get through this one wall would be equal to 10 of the Harco bricks, which are 5,000 apiece. So if you can do any kind of defense or anything like that at the same time, it's going to be pretty easy to defend this base compared to, people just coming in through 1 or 2 foundations and ruining everything. But the basis of this is basically, find yourself a spot where if you do a straight line across the bottom all the way around, it'll end up not leaving enough room for people to come through. But the main thing is basically you to use these placement blocks, because you're not actually going to build any of these. You just need to place them all out into, whatever size you want to make your box. You can actually double layer these and stuff as well, so it'll be even harder for people to get in. But the main thing is, what you're going to end up having is you're going to just be putting these walls up first. So in each one of your corners, you're going to come 1 brick in from the corner. And then you're going to put up these walls just like this. So right here, it's just going to be my, 2 layers of walls going up. And then this is a roof, another roof, and another roof on this other side right here. So essentially you're kind of just making like this, corner of walls with roofs coming out each side. What these roofs on each side are going to do is it's going to allow you to connect your roof paneling. It does require those to actually be out there for it to connect properly. So you can always, do this at the end, whatever you want to do, but definitely recommend getting a roof up as quick as possible. So if you build basically this block right here, once again, same thing, 2 walls, 2 walls, 1, and then 1. It'll allow that to go onto there. And then what you can also do that's pretty neat is if you want to make a second layer onto here, you can do the same kind of concept, just bring this out further once again. Go ahead and put this across. You obviously want it to be 1 more out than your current one is, otherwise it's not really any point to it. But you can essentially double wall your entire base this way. So what that's going to do is, that's another additional, 1, 2, 3, 4 squares, 14,000. So you're looking at like 65,000 damage that this wall right here would have to take for this to even go down. So between your 2 walls, you'd be sitting over 100,000 damage, which is 20 of the structural blocks if you do the Harkonnen that are stronger, which is absolutely insane for anyone to get through. The best part is you can see what's happening, you can fight them, you can deal with them, do whatever needs to be done to make sure your base survives. But just in case you're not around, this is a huge way to, just defend yourself at the end of the day. And then on top of that, you have all this room inside here. You can still go ahead and just start putting up your regular base that you would do inside of this, and go ahead and just wall everything in. Depending on what size you end up making, I only did this size solely because of I was trying to just wall this little area in. But if you're on a flat area that's large enough, or if you end up putting stakes out, there's not really any limitation to this. The only limitation would be power, which you can just keep adding more power, whatever you need to do. And then you can keep building these out so that they're bigger and bigger. But the defense capabilities of it are going to be absolutely insane. Couple different things you can mess around with, depending on the size, your grid that you make, things like that, you can always, layer this out basically each time you do a whole nother layer out. So you're essentially honeycombing with these. Eventually you'll get to the point where this one's too wide. You might end up having to do 2 separate ones, but even still at that point, those are going to take another 50k damage to get into, and it's going to be absolutely overkill. I don't think anyone's going to be getting into there anytime soon. But it's super handy, really nice. If you're one of those little cave rats that just has one side of your base open, it might be worth it to pop up, 2 or 3 pinna shields right there. Since they can't get through the rocks, they'd have to come in through the front, and at that point, they'll sit there all day just trying to get into your base. But it's going to be huge for this DD where, all the groups are, kind of funneled into one little area. So if you're dealing with Zergs, you're just going to deal with even more at this point. So if you just have a little farm base or something, you can probably just get away with one of the pinna shields or 2 pinna shields on front. But if you have a guild base out there, you're trying to hit up any of these large, spice blooms and stuff like that, you're competing with these people, this could be an absolute game changer to the point where, it's 100k from any direction, 150k from any direction for them to get into your base. And then on top of that, you still have your entire middle that you can build up as well. So it's going to be giant for defenses for not only single players, but big groups, Zergs, things like that.